Running a business can be a bit like driving a truck downhill on a bumpy road with lousy brakes. You're in control, but only just. I will remember Dad running our family business and the impact it had on him and then on Mum, and then it rippled through to the rest of the family. So if you're feeling like that, you're not the only one. Actually, 59% of all businesses turn over less than 200,000, and that really isn't enough for most of them to earn a comfortable profit. So you end up spending your time fighting fires and you're bleeding cash because you don't have enough to do what you need to do, or you're beaten by the clock, having to do work at all hours of the day and night, and all the dreams that you had of other people doing the work for you and being able to spend time with your family, they're still there, but they're just that much out of reach. And when you try and work on these problems, you've got some band-aid solutions, but nothing that's really permanent. Your barbecue conversations at the weekend, they're all about the problems you have with your business, not about how things are going so well for you. There are tools that can help fix these issues, but most business owners don't know about them, or if they do, they don't know how to use them. There are 3 areas that you must look at if you're in the situation where you're bleeding cash or you're being beaten by the clock. These 3 fit together. So that's your sales, so that's how you get your work. Then you have how you convert your order into cash in the bank. And then, of course, all of these things don't really matter if you don't have the financial management looking after all of that, so that all of the dollars you bring in the door actually turn into cash. Now, it's really important to look in those areas because we always manage to find at least one key in one of those 3 areas, and often more, that will help increase the efficiency of your business. When you increase the efficiency, you increase your profit and you reduce the mess and the uncertainty that you're running around. So it's also very important to put these things down onto paper and don't just keep it in your head. Because when you do that, there are lots of things which just stand out. I know there was one major company that I did some work for. They had most of their processes documented, but not a whole lot. And it was those things that were in between the major steps was where they were finding their issues, and they didn't know about it because they didn't have it down on paper. So what's the best way to document all of this? Well, after working with businesses for lots of years, since the 90s, it really is best to have a diagram. And you start off, that's where we begin our process, and then we do this, and then we have a decision, and we go this way or that way. And you continue on, you get the idea from that. And when you see it actually out on paper like that, there are lots of things that just jump out at you because you have the whole thing visible in front of you. And even though you've got it in your head, seeing the whole thing laid out together in one whole, you can say, well, that bit there causes a problem over there that wasn't immediately obvious before. When you document it, it helps you to understand what happens, it understands who's involved, and also what other controlling influences there are around it. One of the organisations that I did some work for, they were fixing vehicles, but they occasionally needed parts to do that from another base which was just over the river. So they needed it, they put the requisition in, they immediately went to that other base, they immediately put it on the truck, but it took a whole week for that part to get over the river because that truck had to then wait until it was going off to another base in another suburb to then be transferred over and come back around to them. So it's those other controlling influences sometimes that can make a huge difference to what's going on. And when you put that down on paper like this, particularly in a diagram form, it makes it a lot easier to understand where those things are. So if you want to regain control of your business, you've actually got 3 options. First one is real easy, and that's do nothing. And that's actually a valid option if what you find is something which is minor or it's temporary. Not often the case, but sometimes you can get lucky like that. Second option that you can do is to get us to give you a hand. We can come in and we can have a look at all of your processes, map them all out for you, analyse and say, well, let's look at this bit and let's look at this bit. And we can probably help out with making changes there and see what happens. So we can do that for you. Now, there's actually a third option that's in between those 2. Soon we'll be running a webinar to help you understand how to create these diagrams for yourself. And when you've done that, you can have a quick look at them, and based on what you see and what you know and the information you already know about your own business, you can start making decisions about how much help you actually need. And that way you can make an intelligent decision about how much help you require us to give you a hand with and how much you can actually sort out within your own resources. So if you want to change the barbecue conversation to sport and politics or something else, just something that isn't your business problems, then figure out, do you want us to come along and help you from the scratch and sort all those things out with you? Or do you want to join the webinar to figure out how to make your own business diagrams and make an intelligent decision from there about how much you want us to help you? So click on the links below when you figure it out.